And now it's Christmas time. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith. And guess who I'm here with today? It's none other than Blackie Humphrey, Hector Angel Shadow, Rascal Godfrey Gladstone III. He's shy. And guess what, Blackie? Today is my 30th anniversary in beautiful Los Angeles. Well, we're taping this the night before, but my anniversary is January 11th. I arrived, see it circled on that 1993 calendar. I bet many of you viewers are saying, I wasn't even born in 1993. Well, good for you. You still have your youth ahead of you. You know, I came out to visit Los Angeles in like July of 1992 with my friends Abigail and Scott. We had gone to New Orleans that summer, and then for some reason they got it in their head that we could go to Los Angeles. And it had been just a few months after the riots, the L.A. riots, with that whole Rodney King thing and the city burning. So I was like, have they rebuilt the city? So we came to visit in July of 92, and I thought, I like this city, and Burbank especially. I thought I could live there. And we even went to Days of Our Lives to visit my friend Susan Seaforth Hayes. Well, we're not really friends, but I was in her fan club. She plays Julie on Days of Our Lives. So when I decided to do an internship at The Young and the Restless, to get the last credit for my school, I decided I could move to Los Angeles, and my friend Abigail agreed to come with me. And we drove out. I think we started like January 4th. And it took us 1 week to get to LA. Well, we had to stop and watch TV in the evenings, and in some time zones, the TV started earlier, like Central Time, so things started at 7. So you had to be off the road, and of course, Abigail took longer to get ready. So we might not leave the hotels or the motels until 11:30, noon, something like that. And the only ones that came with me from back home were Gonga and Leah. Gonga and Leah always traveled with me when I would go back and forth from college at Virginia Tech, and they would sit in the front seat with me and keep me company. So Willie Talk didn't even come because he was still taking piano lessons from the great Stanislavski in West Virginia. So we came and we arrived in time for El Nino, as they would say, on January 11th, 1993. And it was very scary driving out here. Every time we would go through a city, and we were in 2 different cars. They didn't even have cell phones in those days. Well, maybe rich people had those big blocks that you would could have in your car or whatever. But real people didn't have them. We had CB radios. We attached these magnetic things on the roof of our car, and we could talk to each other on a certain channel. So I'd be like, where are you, Abigail? I can't see you. Over. And she'd be like, I just passed the something exit. Over. It was terrifying, and we would always hit rush hour whenever we would go through a city. What did we know? Now I would be too terrified to even attempt to do that. But when you're 23, you're just young and stupid. Well, I took some notes to try and remember what was happening in the world in 1993. According to the interwebs, the number 1 song in the land, and had been for many weeks and was for all of January, was Whitney Houston singing the hit Dolly Parton song, I Will Always Love You. And would you believe now we have I Want to Dance with Somebody in movie theaters about Whitney Houston. So isn't it amazing we're still talking about her 30 years later? But are we talking about me? Well, it's Chris Smith time, we are. I haven't accomplished as much as Whitney Houston, but as of this taping, I'm still alive, aren't I, Blackie? So I came here to do my internship at the Young and the Restless. And sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd gone to New York and done my internship at Loving, which I had a chance to maybe do. Would I be happy and thriving working? Well, I wouldn't be working on any of the ABC New York soaps because there aren't any. Maybe I would have gotten a job at one, and then when they all got canceled, I would have killed myself, and I'd look like this. But, but, things happen the way they're meant to. So we came out here, and Abigail and I arrived that Monday night. I think on Tuesday we were looking for apartments and stuff, and then on Wednesday, the 13th, I started at the Young and the Restless as an intern. I wasn't paid, just for, 1 credit in school. That's all you got. But that was fine. I was glad to work for free. For a soap opera, even the Young and the Restless, and it was the #1 soap opera in the land. And they sure always reminded us of that. They were like, we're the #1 show. And we're very good to you. We always laughed about that. So Abigail's birthday was January 13th. I think I may have forgotten it that day, but we still celebrated it that evening. I didn't do anything special because I'm a guy, and guys we don't really think about things like that. And we weren't a couple, so, I'm not supposed to do something special for someone's birthday. Then that Friday, the last episode of Santa Barbara aired. The soap opera at the Young and the Restless, they put on the soap opera and we watched it. In LA, Santa Barbara came on at 11 a.m. So it was very sad when it went off, but Santa Barbara wasn't very good the last year or the last 6 months or so. So Abigail and I moved into a guest house on Hollywood Way in Burbank. It wasn't Hollywood, but it was Hollywood Way, and it was right above the Burbank Airport up the hill, and you could hear those planes all the time. What a nightmare. One time it was in a like a little residential neighborhood. I mean, it wasn't a gated community or anything, but it was up the hill. It was a neighborhood, and in my town in Williams in West Virginia, people could park whichever way they wanted. A car could be pointed this way, and then the car right in front of them could be pointed in the directly toward it. Just all parked nilly-willy. Well, I didn't know. I thought that in neighborhoods you were allowed to park however you wanted. So one day I parked on the opposite side of the road than I was supposed to, and I got a ticket. I don't think that's fair, do you? January 20th, 1993, Bill Clinton was inaugurated, and on the 23rd of January 1993, the Golden Globes were on, and Scent of a Woman won, and Al Pacino and Emma Thompson, they were big winners. Hooah! Yes, Scent of a Woman. That's one I haven't seen in a long time, and I won't be seeing it anymore. So those were some of the things that were happening, and what would I say I've learned in the 30 years that I've been living in LA? Well, don't give up on your dreams. Even if it's been 30 years and your dreams haven't been fulfilled the way you thought that they would, keep dreaming and keep trying, kids. And some people tell you that it all passes very quickly. It doesn't really. I mean, in a way, it sort of feels like it's passed quickly. 30 years. Oh, 30 years. Now, I guess I'm an LA native now. But It's also passed very slowly. I mean, we've had 9/11, we've had George W., we've had Trump, but we had good things too, like the Obama years and the pandemic. Not that that was good, but oh, I wrote a book, The Unfortunates by C.A. Smythe, available on Amazon, and you know you can still get copies to this day. That's a great achievement. And of course, I am on a web series called Roads to Keystone, where I play Father Finnegan and Dave Taub. And also, I have my own show called It's Christmas Time. Oh, and the best thing ever is that over 3 years ago, I met this friend, Blackie Humphrey. So, if I hadn't come to L.A., Blackie, I would have never met you. And who would you be with now? Some stranger. Some stranger with my dog. I can't even bear it. But I've made lots of good friends. And of course, Gonga and Leah are still with me 30 years later. And they've been with me a lot longer than that. Gonga I had gotten as a birthday present from my friend Donna Wheeler in the 6th grade. And then when I was when I was on the way back home for, I've probably told you this story, from Magic Mart, I fell in love with Gonga in the car. And by the time I got home, I was like, we're going to have to get her another present. I didn't end up going to the party. I don't think I felt well that night. So, but at least Gonga's still with me. And Leah I got in I think at one of those amusement parks in Virginia, and it was at one of those claw machines. I think that's what happened with Leah. So, yes, and Willie Talk didn't join us until later in 1993. Might have even been 94. It might have been after the earthquake of 94, which is another topic. So, happy 30th anniversary to me. Delicious. That's 30 long years in Los Angeles, California. I don't regret them. I probably have made some mistakes along the way. I probably should have tried harder in my writing career. I had great opportunities sometimes, and I met some good people along the way, people who believed in me. Sometimes it worked out. Sometimes I frittered away the goodwill and just didn't try hard enough. But there's always the next life. There's always tomorrow. Poop fart but crutchot. And I wouldn't say that I'll do 30 more years here. It's very hard in the big city. But I would like to have 30 more years with Blackie, wherever we are. Okay, so Blackie and I want to say thank you for watching our show. You make an old man and an old dog very happy. And we'll talk to you more and tell more stories probably when the next time it's Christmas time. Okay, goodbye everybody. Goodbye. That's an actual skull. Just kidding.